I was checking the patch notes very fast because, not a lot to check, and Radless part is irrelevant. Who cares about Radless anyway? I wasn't really doing anything special, right? But I want to try different ascendancies this season 322 for whatever reason, and it's more about showcasing something that I don't think anyone is talking about, and that makes the Chieftain ascendancy like actually not as bad as we thought. Sure, it's gonna be like a powerhouse like Elementalist, Juggernaut, or Pathfinder, but it's still gonna be a better ascendancy than we thought. Let's go to my hideout. Okay, I'm gonna be a bit more comfortable over there. I was playing with this character, just testing stuff, testing leveling and all that, and I came to realization of this node. No big deal, people have been using this node already for Scion leveling, regenerate 1 life per second for each uncapped fire resistance. But I just pick it up to do early radius fire, because apparently how this works is you only regenerate 1 life per second for each uncapped fire resistance. That is every fire resistant point that you have, percentage, right? 1%, every 1% of fire resistance you have, ignoring the cap. Uncapped fire resistance doesn't mean until you cap it or between 0 and the cap. It means without considering the cap of your fire resistance, as much as you have in fire resistance, you're gonna get 1 life per second. So for leveling and for radius fire in particular is very good. Already known for Scion, a way of leveling it. But it goes beyond that, because I think the synergy with the new Chieftain, everything makes sense. So the reward, while it's not gonna be amazing, it still makes a little bit of sense. This might be a new way of not only playing with Ascendancy, but with the class, right? With the Marauder in general. The camp resistance you can see is 174, because it doesn't matter what cap I have. It's 174, I get 174 life regen. As you can see, I'm level 30 and I have 266. If I use all resistance flash, it goes up, right? And doesn't matter that I remove and I don't have the fire resistance cap. Again, it's not the fire resistance over cap or under cap. It's any fire resistance point. We go to the new ascendancy. We can go see this node that until now was okay. It's good value, immune to ignite, free fire resist. Was not too low about that, but now everything makes a bit more sense. The same way they remove the endurance charges, the same way they remove the enemies covering us from the ascendancy, from the old ascendancy. You used to have the enemies covering us in the Chieftain. That the same way that is like extract from the Chieftain and put it in the tree, that you can say is bad for the Chieftain. We had this endurance charges regen 0.5 life per second per endurance charger in the tree. Now instead you get extra fire. So now we have this ascendancy node that rewards you for getting more and more fire resistance over cap. So you cap your lightning and your cold, and then you got the fire mastery. Then by the way, you for example can get it here too, okay, in any fire node. So will also work for that new archetype they wanna go for, and you get that regen, right? In endgame, a node like this can be as powerful as one of these nodes. Like for example, it regains 1.8 life per second here that people tend to go for. So you have 1.2 more, but it's 3 points. So in a way, you get the 50% of the resistance, the free ignite, that synergy. Okay, you can have very easily 400 life per second with this, which is not gonna be the best, most broken thing ever. But suddenly the ascendancy makes a bit more sense. And who knows what you can mix with fire resistance? Like everything that is fire is gonna give you a bit of life regen. For example, you have the flash. You have mods in flash that give you extra resistance. You wanna have some chaos resistance. Why not having some fire chaos resistance that gives you 50% fire, 7.5 lightning and cold, 15 chaos resistance, and 15 life regen, right? And everything adds more synergies that can go with this. I have this endgame Scion. This is a build that I had in the background, right? Just to use as an example. Obviously, it doesn't make sense here, right? But let's pretend like you wanna, for whatever reason, and maybe it's something that you can do in the future, as Chieftain with Summoning Shield, okay? Because now with the max resistance, you're not need to have suppression. You're not gonna need to go all the way around here. right, for this suppression. So you have a bit more freedom with the mass resistance, and you can just stack armor, and with the Fire Master you're gonna have good life regen, right? So let's say this has like 170, right? But with a Chieftain you probably will have a bit more than that, right? Maybe even more than this, maybe even 250 more, because you just want to have fire resistance, right? Then the Zealot Sword with the Fire Mastery suddenly doesn't look that bad, right? Suddenly it does not look that bad. Obviously this is a silly example, okay? You will have to go something like any seal chart is not interrupt, something like that, which is very expensive for a Marauder. But again, this is an example of things that start snowballing with this type of effect. Furthermore, just as a fire resistant, learn 1 to 60, just capping fire resistance with the basic bench, you can get so much fire resistance that you can go reduce fire from level 16 and probably all the way until the end of the campaign. So already for me, this Chieftain makes a lot more sense. You can get this node first of all as you go to the labyrinth in level 31. Get the Fire Mastery, you're already gaining a lot of fire resistance, other resistance, a lot of value there, and life regen. And then you can level with Radius Fire. Who knows, maybe Radius Fire, like it's not maybe the super speed run type of leveling a Chieftain, or even a Marauder, but maybe it can be gone, because until now, you could use Thunder, you can use Brainstorm, there's different ways to level a Marauder in general. Maybe you can go Bone Shatter already with Juggernaut, but suddenly this becomes an interesting way to level some characters that not only applies to Dex next leagues, but also in the future. For example, let's say by a miracle, right? A miracle happens and this attack skill synergies makes it so it becomes a viable archetype. Maybe the way is not to level with an attack skill like Thunder or whatever other thing. Maybe the way is just to level with Radius Fire. Already this ascendancy starts becoming something very relevant with this Fire Mastery regen along with the ascendancy. And you're gonna say that, sure, but where is the damage, right? Where is the damage in the ascendancy? Well, for a lot of these archetypes, you're not gonna need damage. Like, for example, you go Radius Fire, that is, can be a leveling on early game type of build. You don't lose that much damage compared to the old Chieftain, and people already do it. You get a lot of life regen, as we established. You get mass resistance, so you're gonna need to go again for the suppression over here. So you're gonna have a lot of freedom. Who knows? Maybe going into here. And what is gonna give you damage is either Inekora. I agree, it's pretty bad. Ramako, so you don't even have to go flammability. Maybe an option for hardcore characters, and we go back to the Chieftain being perhaps pretty defensive, but I don't think having a defensive ascendancy is that bad, right? You have Trickster, Raider, Champion. Juggernaut's defense a bit more offensive than this, you could argue. But like it can be interesting, right? You have Guardian too. It can be very interesting to have a very defensive type of build that synergizes a bit more with fire resistance and fire damage. And the other one, I think non-unique duels cause increased reduction to the damage types to be transferred to play fire damage. I think can be very interesting, because with this alone, as long as you focus in defenses, have Radius Fire, have a lot of regen, have those mass resistance, with this alone I'm picking nodes that are convenient for you to allocate points on. Suddenly you're probably gonna have enough damage for like Fire Trap, Radius Fire, and many other archetypes, who know even if for the attack skills type of builds. So I just want to share that. Maybe Chieftain is not the best thing ever, but I don't know, me testing some things starts becoming an ascendancy that might be a bit more relevant than we thought. So I wanted to share with that. Again, the uncap resistance is working as intended. You have any doubts? You are like, oh yeah, realize of this. Is it working as intended? It is working as intended. But in a way, Chieftain can become a good way, not only now but in the future, as a leveling wheel, as a starter wheel, an alternative, right, for all these starter wheels. Some people like myself, I don't have to play the top S tier build to have fun, and Chieftain suddenly becomes a good alternative to start leveling, to start doing early maps, and then maybe go back into Juggernaut and whatnot, something that maybe requires a bit more items. I want to level up Berserk before leveling a Chieftain this incoming season, and probably go physical from the beginning with these nodes over here with attack speed and whatnot. So I won't use this Chieftain tech, so to speak. But maybe I was to play a Juggernaut or was to play something else with Chieftain. Maybe I will consider that. And I might level a Radius Fire in the incoming season, so keep an eye to the channel or to twitch.tv/subvertis. Because I might do a Radius Fire, and it makes a lot of sense now, this Radius Fire archetype on a Chieftain with extra resistance. The fire synergy and this fire region, right? So I just wanted to share that. Maybe something to consider in the future, maybe something that is not as good or as broken, but makes a bit more sense now. It's something that, worst case scenario, is just a starting build that is alternative or even a good one, right? And best case scenario might become very good with Celos South, or only with the region. You might have a lot of region alone that maybe you can synergize with other things. Fire resistance, getting from flash, getting from the pens, you can stack a lot of it. Maybe become something to consider for, who knows, future builds that where you are self-found and where your tools are a bit more restricted, and this extra life region, particularly in hardcore, and the extra resistance wanna come in handy, right? Or you are trained and you wanna do something completely broken with any seal recharge, or just a lot of or insane amount of regions and stacking armor and max resist. I think the Chieftain now looks a bit better, at least in my eyes. So hopefully this video wasn't a lot of copying, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.